Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, a technical trader at thetechtrader.com. It is Tuesday, October the 9th. These are the charts of the day at thetechtrader.com. And I'm going to cover some longs and shorts. The market had a treacherous day today. It looks like we may be headed lower. I'll go over some shorts after I do the longs. Here's the longs that attracted me today. AFFY looks fantastic and has been moving ever since the breakout, the wedge, and the stair-step move up, followed by the consolidation in this zone. It broke out again in July, coiled and broke out. It's been steadily moving higher since then. If you can see this move up today, despite the market jumping $1.21 or 5.4% on 1.2 million, increasing volume. Stock looks like it may tag my intermediate target at 25.5, and I'll set a longer-term target up around 29.30 zone. Looking good. BSDM had an unusual high volume surge today, the biggest volume in a couple of years, as it broke across its major declining tops line. It goes way back. Here's your long-term chart, see it? And then lateral resistance was taken out. First through there, and then secondly through there. Reached the third level of resistance, up around $2.20, and it backed off, close to 205. But if this is truly a price volume surge or breaks the back of the downtrend, we should get a move up, in my opinion, test around a 2.5 area short term. Beyond that, we'll see if we can get it up towards about 305, which would be across this zone and here, and that's my next target for BSDM. BTU, British, I call it British Thermal Unit. It's Peabody, one of the coal stocks, and probably the leader in the industry. This has come all the way down from 74 in 2011 to as low as the 1819 zone here, where it traded out, let's see, 1878. So it moved back up into the 26 area, backed off. You can see the new rising bottoms line, also the lateral price resistance at what appears to be kind of a complex head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, perhaps right shoulder. But in any case, at the very least, it's a wedge. Keep an eye on this line and then that line. So leveling we're going to look at is 25 and then 26.25 area, because if it does get it through the 2660 zone, I believe this is a stock that could propel itself into the 30 and then 34 zone eventually. BTU. CLF, another interesting pattern after the, and some of these metals, coal and mining stocks doing very well. CLF, formerly Cleveland Cliffs, had come all the way down from the over 100 range back in 2011 to come all the way down into the near 30 zone, around 30, let's see, 32.25 from 100. So big drop, lost 68% of its value. But doesn't this look like a left shoulder, head and right shoulder, inverse head and shoulder bottoming type pattern forming? And look at the volume on the surge up here. Low volume on the pullback, and now these spiked the last 2 days on increasing volume. 12.8 million traded today, up $1.75 or 4.3%. I like the way that's looking. And at this point, I'm looking for a test of the 46.7 zone, followed by potentially something up around 53.4. FU, well, this used to be Wizard Software. They formalized the merger today and changed the symbol because the company is now Fab Universal. And as you can see, it did spike up and pull back. It's very thinly traded, but it's the kind of stock I think on a long-term basis, if you look at the long-term chart, having moved out across the pattern here, gotta take that out of the equation. There you go, bottoming, breaking out. There's long-term resistance up here. So let it consolidate. But if it gets through there, I'm looking for a move that could take this up in the 8 or 9 range. Let's call it 8 for starters, an immediate move. That's a big move, so percentage-wise, it could be a nice trade if it does get going. The key is going to be, can it get up through 570, 75 zone? Once it does that, I'd be looking for much higher prices. GME, GameStop. I'm pointing this out for a reason. Here's a weekly chart. And you can see the big declining tops line that goes back to 2011. Well, that was taken out today. The stock has thrusted from the mid-teens into the mid-20s, reaching 24.49. Now, today it was up 74 cents, 3% on almost 5 million shares, but moved up across that line and maybe headed to the 27 area short term. Reeds has been fabulous all year, one of the better charts on the street, and a beautiful parallel channel has been formed. After its spike up in August, where we told you it had reached our target, it then pulled into a multi-week consolidation, but in an orderly fashion. Look how low the volume got here a week and a half ago. It spiked up and pulled back, and today spiked up and through resistance, at least it appears so. Take a look at the high today at 742 and the high up here at 719. We were actually broken through it. This high here was 720. So we've made a move to break out across that line. And if it does get any kind of follow through, and by the way, the volume was heavy relative to what it normally trades, you can see this stock trade up towards 10. My target for this stock. SPB, big breakaway gap today. You can see how the stock has been a beautiful rising channel and then broke through the top of it. Normally, when that kind of volume breaks to the top of a channel, we start to see some follow through. So I'll be looking for something in the low 50s and then as high as high 50s. And lastly, on the long side is XCO. I'm intrigued by the daily chart and the base pattern here. Notice it popped out. We put a swing trade on it. It backed off, and now it's coming on again. 5.6 million traded today. I'm looking for a move to get it up towards 9.25 short term, and then maybe get it up towards 11. Now let's look at the boxer shorts on the short side. Starting with big lots, alphabetically, of course. Let me change the scaling for you real quickly. Didn't do that. Sorry about that, folks. Here's more like it. All right. So you can see how this stock has got crushed, came in a large rising wedge pattern, and it came down, and this is where we put it out here when that bear flag formed. It got hammered, if you remember. We made some nice money on that one, and formed what appears to be some sort of consolidation in this zone here. Taking that out, you can see it more readily. There's the bottom of the channel. It just looks like with downside pressure and negative technicals, if we break this major support level right here, it goes back a couple, 3 years, this thing could fall into the low 20s quickly. CEC, that's Chuck E. Cheese, rolled over, got smacked, rolled over again and got hard and created a down channel. You can see this bear wedge of sorts, a 1, 2, 3 wave corrective, failed and slowly rolled over, broke its support, rallied back up to almost 30 today, and it closed 29.49, just down a couple cents. But if it fails here and takes out this lateral support in that zone here, we can see that fall precipitously down into the mid-20s. CNW Conway, also another bear flag forming. That stock looks lower to me. And first test would be something around 25. Beyond that, 23.5. CRR has been a negative down channel for quite a while. The current action shows a bear flag forming, and if that's the best it can do, we are headed lower, probably towards 55. Deckers, again, very negative action here, a little bear flag, and it's starting to roll. First target, 31. Forward Air, a massive top is formed. The stock is down near a support zone that, if it breaks, could fall rather quickly into the 27, maybe even 25 zone. And Lincoln Electric, you can see how that is come down hard. Twice tried to rally back the resistance that it broke, support that it broke, which is now resistance. And it looks like it's coming down to at least test the 35.6 zone. RAVN, after it ran up and formed this rising wedge, we told you this looks like a short in the 30-31 zone. And sure enough, this rolled over to test 28 today. But if you step back and look at the overall pattern, this is a kind of a key area that, if broken, could lead to 25 and maybe even 23. And lastly is True Religion, which we've been talking about for months after the big breakaway gap to the downside and this rising wedge. It then rolled over hard, formed another wedge, and it's been moving back down. If it should get under 20 and a quarter, we could see it fall down towards 18, 17 and a half, something like that. And that's it for tonight. You guys have a good evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Good luck trading tomorrow.